This is the Monaco 2025 Formula One Grand Prix. Oh dear Lord, ladies and gentlemen. It's Monaco, the crown jewel, the ballerina on a razor blade, a racetrack that doesn't forgive, it doesn't forget, and absolutely does not give a single F who you are. Rookie, world champ, or JC himself on slicks. Dudes, lads, you get one shot, one mistake, you're not just out of the race, you're out of the conversation. And this weekend, everything is again on the line. Four drivers, yeah, we're talking four here, are locked in a title fight, quite tight here, and we're all at the start of the year. You could floss with the gap between them. It's Piastri, it's Norris, it's Verstappen, and now, like a ghost creeping back into the light, you've got George goddamn Russell. This isn't just a race, it's a knife fight in a phone booth, lads. And the phone booth, it's lined with Armco barriers and filled with $1 million carbon fiber dreams waiting to be shattered.
Walsh running the Irish green, and look at the move, he's making down to the inside.
Moves to the front from 5th all the way to the lead in lap 1.
Walsh takes win number 2.
Peter Walsh.
Now, okay, here's the kicker. Monaco is BS. Yeah, you heard me right. It's BS. Now, what do I mean by that? It's beautiful, iconic, but from a pure racing standpoint, it's a glorified parade unless you nail qualifying. That's the kicker. And that's the real war this weekend, guys. This is the most important qualifying session of the year. You qualify second, you might as well be starting at the casino table. You're still at a huge disadvantage because your win chances have just dropped to the same odds as almost like betting on snake eyes, lads. Overtaking? Please. It just doesn't happen. Unless someone parks into the wall or decides to take a trip into the harbour. You're not passing anyone. Unless you take a lunatic dive and pray to Saint Ayrton of Senna. Here's the problem for the title contenders. Each of them has something to prove. Of course they do. Not one of them doesn't. And that desperation, that can get messy. It can. It's tight, it's brutal. And in Monaco, one tiny screw up, that's it. That's your championship hopes. Maybe it's a long shot, but it's certainly your race over and done with. And it's over and done with, like scattered across like Casino Square like a goddamn deck of cards. Now let's rewind for a second here, right, shall we? This season, I think it's been unreal. What do you guys think? And drop a comment. Drop a comment in the comment section, lads. I'd love to get people's opinion on this. But the main story here, it's been the psychological warfare. Started with the top three, but now four. George Russell back in the mix, baby. Piastri, cool, calm, calculating. He's got that sort of Mika Hakkinen energy, would you think? No nonsense, no BS, just pure execution. 3 wins already. No, sorry, beg your pardon. 4 wins already. And he's got that vibe of a kid who grew up building Lego Technic sets and is now assembling pole position like he was born in wind tunnels. And then there's Lando. Kind of like a cheeky little so-and-so, right, wouldn't you say? Now, he does lack the assassin, and, you know, we still don't know if he's got it in him or not. But he's a cheeky little fella, you know? But now, maybe he's got some venom. His racecraft this year has been sublime to a degree. You know, he's to a degree, again, I want to say to a degree, he stopped playing Mr. Nice Guy. And you can tell he wants to win the championship. Of course he does. And will he get a little dirty to get it? Will he? I'd like to know, guys, what you think. I can't see it happening. I just can't. There's no two ways about it. The guy wants to win the championship. Now, Verstappen, I think the guy's getting furious. that kind of makes him a bit dangerous, man. You know, he's not dominating anymore, and he doesn't like it out clearly. He's out there like a lion that's just been kicked in the balls by a younger, hungrier lion. You know, he's snarling, snapping, and a little borderline reckless when people put a little bit of pressure on him. And then you got Russell, the silent assassin, the guy who's been lurking, waiting, and now he's within striking range. Lads, don't rule this guy out. 4 men, 1 trophy. Now, Monaco standing in the way like a concrete labyrinth from hell. And don't get me wrong. This is where Ayrton Senna put it on pole 6 times. This is where Ayrton Senna really dominated. Now, I know I was just kind of basically calling Monaco a bit of a farce, right? But this was the 80s. The 1980s, where they actually had a H-box, where they actually had to manually change gear with their hand and drive around cars with one hand, and had a clutch. So they didn't have just 2 pedals, they had 3. All right? And I'm not taking anything away from the new generation drivers this day, because it's not like they had a choice, you know? They had no choice. So it's just the way it was. And, you know, it will definitely prove, or it'll definitely show the qualifying grit. Now, Russell, he's a brilliant qualifier. Piastri, great. Verstappen, great. Norris, great. If Mercedes can take the fight to them, and if they can get close to that pace, I honestly think you could see George Russell have a very good chance of putting it on pole. Now, let's actually talk about the track, right? It's not really a track, it's a street circuit, all right? So, okay, it's sort of a medieval alley where we somehow decide to race rocket ships. You've got elevation changes, blinding sunshine coming out of that tunnel, and hairpins tighter than your ex's excuses, man, and zero margin for error. And the bus stop chicane, now that's the real litmus test this weekend, coming out of there, right? Everyone talks about Casino Square and the hairpin, but you show me a driver who gets a clean exit out of that bus stop, and I'll show you a man who's about to steal pole. Very, very important, guys. Get it right, gain a 10th or 2 going into these next 2 right-handers. Get it wrong, and you're oversteering into Armco like it's a date with destiny. And out of the bus stop, you carry that speed through the flowing right-handers. You feel the car dance under you. The tires just whispering to the tarmac. And then down the main straight, such as it is, flat out, yeah, through the tunnel into another chicane. That's basically just there to wreck someone's weekend. But that's the great thing for us when we're watching. And qualifying, it is everything. Let's get back to that. It's not just about getting on the front row. It's about owning the rhythm of Monaco. This is what it is. You know, once you're out in front, it's your symphony. It's your 9th symphony. Everyone wants to win Monaco. Of course they do. It's the glitz and glamour, right? Everyone else is just background noise. No one gives a damn who finished 2nd, who finished 3rd on the podium in Monaco. No one gives a BS, man. No one. And that's why Saturday is... this is a big statement to say. Saturday is actually more important than Sunday. Genuinely. And whoever gets pole, odds are they're winning. But here's the spice. What if it rains? All right, give me a bit of rope on this one, lads, right? Oh, what if it rains? Let's go wild, right? Picture this. Qualifying, final minute, damp track, sun trying to punch through the clouds like a boxer in round 12. 4 drivers, all within 1 lap left. Piastri's nailed the first 2 sectors. Verstappen behind, pushing like a man possessed. Norris has been hiding a bit of pace all weekend. Russell sliding like he's got nothing to lose. And then, boom, one of them clips the wall. Red flag, session over, time expired. And it's Piastri who's already through the line. Maybe. He's on pole. Verstappen, stuck in P3. Norris in P2. Russell in P5, fuming. And just like that, the grid is locked. A mistake at the chicane changes everything. Verstappen, he's angry. Lando, I guess you could say he's sniffing blood. And Russell, he knows he's got to do something wild on strategy or take a mad lunge, and I mean a mad lunge, into Saint-Devote on lap 1 and hope to God he survives, unless he does put it on pole. Now, Sunday rolls in. Bright sun, glamour, champagne, celebrities pretending to know what DRS means, and underneath it all, the pressure. Because in Monaco, the start is everything, and the mental game, even more. Piastri, he nails the launch. Lando harasses him into Murbo. Verstappen's bouncing off curbs, trying to get close. Russell goes long on strategy, hoping to undercut. But it's a street fight, and when that safety car comes out, because you know someone's going to go into a wall here, lads, and it flips like the script. Now, you could get a chance to win in a pit stop, but you've got to be, and I mean, lads, you've got to be able to throw out plan A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S, T, U, V, W, X, Y, Z out the window, and then have a random plan to just throw out there in a split second. And you know, if someone double stacks too slow, it's race over. So here's what it comes down to, lads. This isn't just another race on the calendar. This is a ritual. It's a rite of passage. And win Monaco and your name goes on a wall that never forgets. There's no two ways about it. Even if you win it that one time, you're there in the history books, man. And you had Prost, Senna, Schumacher, Alonso. It's not just about points. It's about legacy. And these four, I wouldn't say this is the only one they have to win, but for legacy itself, it's up there, man. Because winning here sends a message. It sends, I'm not just fast, I'm fearless. I'm clinical. I can dance on the edge of disaster and come out the other side with a trophy in my hand and the world at my feet. So tune in, lads. Watch every qualifying lap like it's the last. Hold your breath every time they scrape within millimeters of that wall at that swimming pool. And remember, in Monaco, you don't win with brute force. You win with ballet shoes on fire. Let the madness begin.
Walsh running the Irish green, and look at the move he's making down to the inside.
Moves to the front from 5th all the way to the lead in lap 1.
Walsh takes win number 2.
Peter Walsh.